Hello, and welcome to a 60-minute gentle yoga class. We won't really need anything particular for our practice today except for a towel or a blanket. I just ask that you have it rolled up and have it be so that it's at least as wide as the space across your hips. It'll make more sense as we start to move further into our class. But the focus of our class today is to lengthen and open the front chain of the body and to strengthen the back side of the body. We're going to start off laying on our bellies. So you can either take crocodile pose, where the palms are stacked, the forehead is resting, and the elbows are out wide. If this creates any discomfort for the head, the neck, or the shoulders, you might take a cactus shape with the arms or release them down by your side. You could also opt to use that blanket underneath the forehead, and if you need to unroll it a bit, that is perfectly fine as well. So start to become aware of the body beginning to settle into the support of the floor beneath you. Some of us might be practicing on a hardwood floor or a carpeted floor, so just begin to notice where you start to feel a give either within the floor or within the body. And continuing to deepen your presence to settling into the body, noticing sounds, perhaps sensation of clothing on the skin or even the temperature within your practice space. Our yoga practice is this wonderful gift of connection, a connection of breath with body, breath with movement, and this awareness of where we feel engagement and effort, ease and opening throughout our practice. And through this connection, we also start to notice our emotional body. And we start to make these choices of softening and surrendering when we find those moments of effort and challenge. Backing off when it feels appropriate. Leaning into it and really finding our strength. This gift of awareness expanding. So let's begin to make that connection to our breath. And though there's a restriction of the belly as it presses into the floor, can you still press the belly into the earth as you expand? And you might start to notice a lengthening through the side body, a spread of the rib cage, a lift of the back of the heart. Notice energetically how you're feeling this morning. Perhaps it's bubbly or joyful. Perhaps it's tired and sluggish. And that's when we can adapt our breath to deepen this connection of nurture and support. So our Ujjayi pranayama, this constriction in the back of the throat, tones the belly, tones the throat, and enlivens our breath. It can add some energy to our practice. But if we have an excess of energy, we might keep that Ujjayi pranayama softer or non-existent. So layer on that part of the breath based on what you're feeling energetically. And know that that might shift throughout our practice. And then begin to bring the head to a more neutral position, any position of the arm that feels comfortable here. And I want you to feel the connection of your hip points to the floor. Can you begin to press the hip points even closer to the earth? And you might sense this engagement of the glutes. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. How does this translate through the whole chain of the legs? Keeping the left foot pressing into the floor. As you inhale next, just start to lift the right leg any amount. And then as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg. We'll take that a few more times at the pace of your breath. So inhaling to lift, feel that strength within the back of the leg and slowly lower. Inhale, lift. Where else do you feel this in the body? The core, the front body, and then exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Nice. This time as you inhale, outstretch your right arm above the head. Keeping the left hand wherever feels comfortable here. And then begin to lift through the inner palm so that you're creating this dome with the hand. Press the tops of the feet into the earth. And then begin to explore walking that right hand out just a little bit wider so it's kind of in a diagonal line away from the body. Nice. And then start to walk those fingertips so that they are again out above the head. And moving with the breath as you inhale next, begin to lift the arm, perhaps lifting the head and the shoulders. And then as you exhale, start to lower down. It might feel best to have the left forearm in front of the face. Just doing this a few times with the breath. Sensing where you feel this along the whole line of the body. This time as you exhale to release, inhale to sweep the right arm to a T shape. Turn your head to the left. Slide your left palm underneath your left shoulder. And as you inhale, start to roll onto the right side of the body. If you experience pinching in the back of the shoulder, roll towards the body and change the angle of the arm closer in towards the waist. It might feel best to have your right palm flipped up towards the ceiling. So stretching across the front of the right shoulder. Legs might be stacked here, scissoring the left leg behind the right. Perhaps bending into the left knee, placing the foot on the floor. A few more breaths here. Nice, and then on your next exhale, slowly start to roll back towards the belly, either a cactus shape with the arms or stacking the palms and resting the forehead here in your crocodile. Take a few resting breaths here. Start to notice any heat or energy moving through the body. Feel that connection of your breath here. And see if you can begin to press those hip points into the floor. Feel the engagement of the glutes. And the right foot will stay planted here. And then as you inhale, start to hover the left leg up off of the mat. Slowly lower as you exhale. Continuing with this and just practicing this open awareness of where you feel the engagement within the body. How does it translate throughout the core? Nice. Next time you lower that left leg down towards the earth, pause here and start to outstretch your left arm out above the head. And can you start to lift through the palm, creating a dome with your hand itself, and start to feel the forearm, the biceps start to lift off the earth. And then start to walk those hands out in a diagonal line. Nice. And then walking those fingertips back so that they're out above the head, anchoring the pelvis, the tops of the feet into the earth, strong through the core. And then as you inhale, try lifting either the arm or lift the head, the chest, and the arm as well. And then you'll exhale to slowly lower. Again, inhale, lifting, sensing where you feel this within the body, slowly lower. 2 more times with the breath, utilizing the support of the left arm if needed. Nice. This time as you lower, outstretch that left arm about perpendicular from the body. Turn the head to the right, slide right palm under the shoulder, and then as you inhale, press into right palm, roll towards the left side of the body, just to that point that feels like an appropriate stretch across the front of the chest. Playing with variations of the leg. Nice, and then on your next exhale, roll back towards the belly. This time we'll set up for Sphinx pose. So as you inhale, slide up onto the forearms with the elbows about underneath the shoulders. Know that they could also be slightly forward. You could also instead come to crocodile if this is too much sensation in the low back. Support this back bend by keeping the core engaged. Press the forearms down and back as you pull the chest forward, and keep those legs strong and active here. So through this engagement of the back body, this strengthening here, do you feel this lengthening and opening across the front chain of the body? You might even explore tilting the head down and up a few times. Really sensing this system-wide attachment of our fascia plane to assist us in movement. Nice. Next time you exhale, lower to that crocodile or cactus shape. It might feel nice to sway through the hips a few times, to bend into the knees and sway shins and feet from side to side a few times. Okay, and then begin to slide the palms underneath the shoulders. As you inhale, press up to a tabletop position. So from here, we're going to get into a little myofascial release using our blanket. So take that blanket, slide it underneath your tabletop, and then we're going to lower just the tops of our quads down onto this blanket. So almost a sphinx-like pose here. And I invite you to start to roll from side to side. So starting to feel maybe the ropiness of our muscles. Are you ladies feeling that? Okay, and then we're going to continue to kind of snake forward so that the blanket is now more on the middle of the quads. Maybe it's a little bit more intense here. So we just start to explore, where is it? And then continue to make your way down. Oh yeah. Just so that you're above the knees. Oh yeah. I feel like I could stay here for a while, but I won't torture you with that. All right, so then we're going to press the knees down, lift the hips, slide that blanket away, and then lower back down. All right. So we're going to be in an almost sphinx-like pose, but have the elbows a little bit further away from the body. And you're going to begin to bend into the right knee, reach back for either the inside or the outside of the foot. If you can't reach the foot, you could also use a strap here. And start to just explore drawing that heel towards the glute or out a little bit wider. All right, so from here we're going to strengthen the hamstring. So keeping that heel close in as possible, begin to release that right arm. Keep drawing the heel towards the glute. Smile. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. And then release, lower back towards the belly. Might feel nice to sway those hips from side to side a few times. Nice, and then we'll take this to the other side. So prop up slightly onto the elbows. If this is too much for the low back, you can certainly keep the chest closer towards the earth. Bend into the left knee, reach back with the left arm for that foot. And just start to explore drawing that heel close in towards the body. See if you can press the left hip point down, getting maybe a little bit more sensation through that quad. Nice, and then this activation with that hamstring, slowly start to release the left arm, but keep that heel drawing in towards the body. Nice. Maybe it cramps up a little bit. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Wonderful. Start to release that foot back down. Release the chest. Take a few deep breaths here. And sliding the palms underneath the shoulders as you inhale next, press up to your tabletop position. Spread through the fingers. As you exhale, round the spine high towards the sky. Start to tuck the chin and the tail. Cat pose. And then as you inhale, move into your cow. So arch the belly down, lift the head, and continue with this articulation within the spine. If there are additional movements that the body is craving, feel free to take them. A few more cycles of breath here. Nice, finding that neutral tabletop spine. And on your inhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Stay on the ball of the foot to start. Press back through the heel, gazing down by the fingertips or just past them. So keeping this long spine. As you exhale next, slide that right leg over towards the left, crossing at the thighs, perhaps gazing off the left shoulder, creating this C-shaped crescent curve with the body. Wonderful. This time as you inhale, start to hover and float the right leg and then send it right back behind you. As you exhale, draw the right knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, extend right leg, sweep it over towards the left. And as you exhale, draw right knee towards the right elbow. A few more times with the breath. Inhale, extend, C curve. Exhale, draw it all in. Last time, inhale, expand that leg out to the left. Exhale, knee to elbow. This time we're going to step the right foot to the outside of that right hand. Explore sliding the left leg back a bit in space. You might even take that blanket and support underneath the knee. So in this knee down lizard lunge, begin to explore sensation within the hips. You might heel toe that right foot out a little wider or turn the toes out a bit. For some people, it'll feel nice to lower the forearms down to the floor. right. If the forearms are on the floor, even just the palms, we're just going to explore a twist to the right. So left hand on block, floor, or the forearm. Turn to the right as you exhale, right hand on thigh or reaching back behind you. We've been working into the quads as well, so you might take a bind by lifting the left foot up off of the earth and grabbing a hold of the foot with your right hand. Fantastic. If you have that bind, slowly release. And as we inhale, we're going to unwind, straightening through the arms, palms under shoulders. As you exhale, slowly tuck your left toes, lift your back knee. Pause here as you inhale, strong legs. As you exhale, step back to your downward facing dog. Feet could be a little wider to start. Sway through the hips or walk your dog here. Ground into the palms. On your next inhale, slowly roll forward to your high plank position with knees up or down, lower all the way to the belly. We'll take a wide-armed cobra here. So slide the palms off of the mat, create that dome with the hands, elbows point up towards the sky. And again, we root our pelvis, the tops of the feet into the floor. As you inhale, lightly press into the fingertips, lift the head and the chest. And as you exhale, slowly bow back towards the floor. Adding on shoulder dips this time. As you inhale, lift head and chest. And as you exhale, right shoulder dips to the midline as you gaze to the left. Inhale, lift up through center, square off the shoulders. And as you exhale, dip the left shoulder, gaze right. One more time on each side. Moving with the breath. Noting this opening across the front of the body. Exhale, slowly dip. Inhale, lift through center. Lower the chest, slide palms under shoulders. Inhale, press up to your tabletop position. Child's pose as you exhale. Knees can be hip width or wider. Resting forehead onto floor, stacked palms, or that rolled blanket. And feel a lengthening through the spine. Feel this expansion now through the back body, a release perhaps through the hips. Wonderful. As you inhale next, rise back up to your tabletop position. Finding your alignment here, that might mean walking the knees closer in. And then as you inhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Just pausing here for a moment as you reach back through the heel. Palms root down and away, and there's just this spread across the shoulders. As you exhale next, slide that left leg over towards the right, crossing at the thighs, gazing off right shoulder towards the heel. On your next inhale, hover that left leg up and float it back behind you. As you exhale, draw that left knee towards the outside of the elbow. Inhale, sweep that leg back and over towards the right. Exhale, sweep it back and around and curl that left knee towards elbow. One more time with the breath. This time as you exhale, drawing that left knee to elbow, step that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Perhaps sliding the right leg back a bit in space. It might feel nice to sway a little from side to side, to explore whether it feels best to keep the arms straight, palms on floor or the support of props. For some, it feels better to release onto the forearms. Fantastic. And then moving into a twist here. Right forearm or palm rooted to the earth as you exhale, twist to the left. Left hand on thigh or reaching back behind you. Perhaps taking that bind, lifting the right foot, reaching back with the left hand. Nice. If you have that bind, releasing it. And as you inhale, we'll all unwind, palms rooted on the earth. As you exhale, tuck your right toes, lift your back knee, slowly step back to your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, roll forward to your high plank position. Slowly lower to the belly as you exhale. Sweep your hands down by your side, palms face down. Turning your head to one side and just softening to the support of the earth, breath full and deep, body at ease. Moving through a few rounds of Shalabhasana, locust pose. Get active through the legs, press the pelvis into the mat, turn the head to a neutral position. And we'll start by just lifting the head and the chest. So on your in-breath, lifting the head, lifting the tops of the shoulders. See if by rooting the palms down the feet that you feel a little more length through the spine. Nice. Exhale, slowly lower. Relax the body completely, breathing in here. Feel the body settle as you exhale. Turning head to a neutral position. Again, get active through those legs. Option this time to lift arms or legs or both. As you inhale, take flight. Feeling this engagement through back body, strong through core, legs, this lengthening, broadening across the chest. Nice. On your next exhale, slowly soften, surrender to the earth, perhaps a few sways of the hips from side to side. Third option could be to interlace the hands at the low back, or perhaps you take Dhanurasana, bending at the knees, reaching back for the insides or the outsides of the feet or ankles. Whichever variation that you choose, your in-breath brings you into this back bend. Head, chest, lift. If you're holding onto the feet, can you actively pull the feet back, feeling this pull across the chest? Nice. As you exhale next, release, soften, let it go. Taking a few deep breaths here in stillness or those sways of the hips. Sliding the palms under the shoulders as you inhale next. Press up to your tabletop position. Child's pose as you exhale. On your next inhale, press up through a tabletop position, making your way to a seated position, bringing the legs out in front of you. You might opt to take that blanket and elevate the hips here. Finding length in the spine as you root the sitting bones down, lifting through the crown of the head. And as you exhale next, start to hug the right knee in towards the chest. For some, it might be closer towards the knee, closer towards the glute. It could be out a little bit wider here. All right, we're going to take a twist here, but more of an open twist. So bringing your left hand back behind you. And as you exhale, twisting to the left. Keep grounding the right foot into the floor. Active through the left leg. Nice. Nice. On your next inhale, start to unwind. We'll set up for Janu Shirshasana. So letting that right knee move out to the side, sliding that right foot somewhere along the inner line of that left leg. With length in the spine, as you exhale, slowly forward fold. Your next in-breath lifts you out of this fold. And as you exhale, we'll again bring the sole of that right foot to the floor. Tent your left fingertips back behind you and start to reach with your right hand over across the left leg. And we'll just move slowly with the breath, so let there be a light rounding through the spine here. And then as you inhale, start to lift your right arm up and slightly back behind you, so broadening across the chest. And then as you exhale, bring that right arm over towards the left, just flowing with the breath here. Nice. This time as you exhale, pause, try spinning to the outer arch of that left leg. Root through the left palm, and so this time you can start to add on wild thing. So as we inhale, we'll press into right foot, outer edge of the left foot, lift the hips high. You might even lift the right heel, and then you'll exhale to slowly lower. You can flow with the breath or hold in any spot. Last time. Dandasana. As you inhale, both of the legs extend out in front of you. Sit tall. A few breaths here. On your next exhale, hugging left knee into the chest, planting the sole of that foot on the floor, maybe in towards the midline or out a little bit wider. Tenting your right fingertips back behind you, feel this length through the spine, and as you exhale, twisting to your right, you might even push that left elbow into the left knee a little bit here. Unwinding on your inhale, setting up for Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose as you exhale. You could also support outside of that left knee. Turn your navel to the long, or to that right big toe, and slowly fold as you exhale. Lengthen the spine as you reach the crown of the head forward, feeling this tug from heel, the back chain of the body. And core and hip flexor pulling you forward in space. And then as you inhale next, lifting out of this fold and then replanting that left foot onto the floor as you exhale. So bringing the right fingertips back behind you, start to reach that left arm over to the outside of the left leg. And we'll just flow simply with the breath a few times. So as you inhale, lift the left arm up and back behind you. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, draw that left arm over just a few times with the breath. And this time as you exhale, pause. Start to spin to the outer edge of that right foot, root into the right palm. Option here this time as you inhale to lift to your wild thing. Perhaps the left heel lifts as the hips lift high, and exhale, slowly lower. We'll take that 2 more times at the pace of the breath, feeling this expansion across front body, engagement through the back. Nice. Exhale, lower. Inhale, Dandasana. Both of the legs extend. Find length through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, bend into both of the knees. Turn around on your mats and slowly lower all the way to your back. Knees bend, soles of the feet on the floor. And take a few moments to pause, sensing the weight of the back of the head, of the shoulders, the hips, and the feet. Feel that deep connection to breath, body. On your next exhale, hug the right knee in towards the chest. And then begin to interlace the hands around the right thigh, keeping the foot flexed. As you inhale, extend the right foot high towards the sky. Hands as is, and as you exhale, rebend into the right knee, keep the foot flexed. Inhale, extend right heel skyward. Exhale, draw knee in towards the chest. Inhale, extend right leg. This time, point the foot, keep it pointed. As you exhale, bend into the knee. Just exploring how changing the shape of the foot, the engagement, might change sensation through the whole line of the leg. This time, as you inhale, keep the leg extended, circle through the ankle a few times in one direction and the next. Nice. As you exhale, figure four, crossing that right ankle over the left thigh. And start to explore using the strength of the legs to draw that right knee towards the back of your mat. And staying here, drawing the left thigh in towards the body, interlacing hands around thigh or shin. You could also opt to just cradle the right shin in towards the body with your hands. And if the left foot is lifted, as you inhale next, release it back towards the earth, arms to a T or cactus, and as you exhale, releasing the shape to the left. I like taking my right hand and just pressing into the right thigh, just sensing sensation across the front of the hip, the outer. You could explore holding on to the right foot with the left hand. All right, as you inhale next, lift this figure four shape back up through center and try crossing right thigh over the left. And so depending on what you're feeling within the outer hips might mean that you stay right here, or you could start to explore bringing the knees in towards the chest, holding on to opposite knee, shin, or foot. Perhaps exploring taking the feet a little wider away from one another. So we don't want any pain within our knee joint. Sensation should be felt primarily through the outer hips. Wonderful. As you inhale next, release this shape of the legs, uncross legs, knees still bent, place the feet on the floor out a bit wider, and then just gently windshield wiper the legs from side to side a few times. Nice. Slowly start to bring the knees through center, heel toe them towards hip width distance. As you exhale, hugging the left knee in towards the chest. Interlace hands around left thigh, keeping the foot flexed. As you inhale, send the heel skyward. Moving with the breath as you exhale, bend into that left knee any amount. Take this 2 more times at the pace of your breath, noting the felt sensation with this foot flexed. Next time you extend the leg, point through the toes. Keep the toes pointed, rebend into the knee, and then straighten that leg again. Wonderful. Next time you find the leg straight, pause here and then circle through that left ankle a few times. And figure 4 as you exhale. And taking this to a depth that feels appropriate for this side. If the right foot is lifted as you inhale next, release it back towards the floor. Keep this shape. Arms to T or a cactus. As you exhale, release over towards the right. And either right hand to the top of the left foot or pressing the left hand into the thigh, noting sensation within the hips. As you inhale next, lifting this shape back up through center, crossing left thigh over the right. Intent to stretch through the outer hips, so you might stay here or draw the knees into the chest, holding on to knees, opposite shins or feet. So Gomukhasana, legs. On your next inhale, release this shape, uncross the legs, knees still bent, feet on the floor. Slowly sway the knees from side to side. And gather knees into the chest, take them out wider. Your variation of happy baby here. So we'll close with a supported fish before our Shavasana, using that rolled blanket. So releasing the legs, locating that rolled blanket or towel that you have. Coming to an upright position so that you can take the length of that towel or blanket to mirror the length of your spine. And releasing down onto that support. Arms as wide as feels comfortable. And depending on how the low back is feeling, you might have the legs straight or the knees bent, falling in or away from one another. And this breath holding in you in presence, sensing the release across the front of the body. Feeling the breath moving in, and breath moving out. And it's natural for the mind to wander. When you notice those states, guide it back to this presence, to breath, body, and heart. And see if you can slow the exhale down. And this combination of a slower exhale, that Ujjayi pranayama, tapping into and stimulating the vagus nerve, bringing balance to the nervous system. With care, slowly start to bend into the knees, placing the feet on the floor, easing your way over to your right or your left hand side, and just taking a moment to pause in a fetal position. Noting perhaps a surge of sensation from that heart space through the body. It's okay if there is nothing felt, but just staying observant. And then gently making your way to your Shavasana, moving that blanket off to the side, perhaps using it to cover the body now. And sense the settling, the surrender of the body as you return to your natural breath. An effortlessness as the muscles relax. Feel that weightiness of the skeletal structure. You might find that the lips gently part as the jaw relaxes. And guide your awareness back to the breath. Start to deepen the breath, reawakening, energizing the body. And feel the expansion of this breath down into the fingers and the toes as you bring some movement there. And let this expansion of breath mirror expansion of movement as you circle through wrists and ankles, perhaps incorporating the head, swaying from side to side. Taking your time to eventually draw knees into the chest and roll to one side to pause. And reflecting the gift of this practice and the lessons learned. And with eyes closed or a soft gaze, please press back up to a seated position. And placing the hands at heart center in a prayer position and bowing chin to chest. And thank you for receiving the gift of this practice. Thank you for being a gift. And thank you for sharing the gift. It was a joy and an honor to lead you all through class today. From my heart to yours, namaste. Namaste. Thank you.